Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw Icefall, directed by Stefan Ruzowitzki, starring Joel Kinnaman. It is the story of a notorious poacher, Joel Kinnaman, who somehow stumbles across an airplane that had fallen into the Arctic, into the ice. I don't remember where it takes place, which is not a good sign. But has fallen into the ice, and there are millions upon millions of dollars there. He somehow gets wrapped up with this cartel and in with law enforcement, and it's sort of a mess for him. He needs to find a way out to save his life, to save the life of the game warden, and to effectively bring some sort of balance back to the world that he currently lives in. Icefall, God, I really wanted to like this because I like Joel Kinnaman. I think that he's a relatively underrated actor. I think that he got a bad rap when he starred in The Suicide Squad, maybe 10 years ago now, almost, not quite. But he's a good actor. But this is a really weak concept. It's really flimsy, and it holds little weight. I mean, a notorious poacher in this Arctic frozen tundra in which there really aren't many animals to hunt. And of all places for this cartel to lose control of their airplane and crash and lose their money, it's here with the one man that could possibly take them down. A sort of aloof female game warden that sort of plays into female stereotypes, but also tries to do too much to counter that and just doesn't. This film doesn't hold a lot of weight. Icefall is not a great film. It was not a lot of fun. It wasn't really very entertaining. It didn't hold a lot of dramatic or emotional weight. And it really does nothing to appeal to viewers. It's just, sadly, it's not a very good film. The dialogue is flimsy, and there's a lot of gratuitous, vulgar language thrown around. I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. I don't ever shy away from using negative language. I curse on here sometimes. I curse like a sailor with my friends more than sometimes I'd like to admit. But that's to say that I'm not against writers and directors using profanity in their films, even when it doesn't always make sense. But in this film, it serves no purpose. And it's so inorganic within the rest of the dialogue, which also isn't very good, that the actors often really, there's just an inflection in their voices when they say "fuck," like in the most, awkward and uncomfortable ways, that just steals even more away from a film that just isn't working already. Kinnaman is fine. He's surrounded by a lot of actors that just can't act very well. There are some that are great. There are some that are fine, and there are a lot that are really not very good and don't do a great job of expressing emotion or, propelling what could have been drama or thrill or mystery. Kinnaman is the star of this show, for sure. He is the main character. He is our protagonist / sort of anti-hero, antagonist thing. But he acts well, but he looks like an absolute stud even more than he usually does because he's paired with those that just aren't capable of acting the way that they needed to. With that being said, there was one part of this film that I did enjoy, and that thing was the aesthetic. I think to have dropped us, the viewers, into this frozen tundra where it goes on for miles and miles, seemingly endlessly, it does create a sense of suspense, and that is really necessary for this film. But it doesn't work in the grand scheme of things. It just doesn't, it's not enough. Not that it doesn't work, it's not enough. But again, back to that aesthetic, I think it is gorgeous. The whites, the bright whites against everything else, against the darker tone, against the darker clothing of the characters present in the film, the endless white, the endless serenity that exists within this landscape is gorgeous. It is touching, it is immersive, it is everything you would want that landscape to be. It acts very much as a character within this film, and it helps to drive the plot, what little flimsy plot there is. Icefall was not a good time. I really did not enjoy myself. It was sometimes a bit of a chore to get through. It took me 3 different sittings to get through. Some because I was a bit strapped for time, but otherwise, I probably would have powered through had I really enjoyed this. I couldn't. I needed those 3 sessions. And honestly, the only reason that I didn't extend this to a 4th session is because the screener that I had only allowed me to watch it a certain number of times. So with that said, Icefall, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 10. And that is only because it is physically gorgeous. It is so appealing aesthetically, and I loved that about it. And Kinnaman is again, decent, but shines compared to the rest of this cast. Icefall is not great. I do not recommend it. But if you want to check it out, it should be available on streaming very, very soon. So yeah, Icefall, 4.5 out of 10. I'm sort of at a loss for words now. So, until next time, peace.